Hello everyone, welcome back to Stepping Up. Today we are delving into an exciting world of Java networking, a key aspect for building applications that communicate over the networks. So stick around for the next 10 minutes as we unravel the mystery of networking in Java. If you are new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you are ready to explore the realm of the Java networking, give this video a thumbs up, and if you have any query, please write down in the comment below. Let's start with first what are the topic we are covering. It is introduction to networking in Java, Java networking classes, socket programming, URL and URL connection, exception handling in networking, best practices for networking. So let's start. What is networking in Java? Networking in Java involves the ability to connect, communicate, and exchange data between applications over the networks. And it provides the robust libraries for building the networked application. Java networking, it is a concept of connecting two or more computing devices together so that we can share the resources. And Java socket programming provides the facility to share data between different computing devices. It has various advantages also for that, like client server applications we can do, web applications, distributed commutings. So these are all its importance, and due to that we can share the resources, centralized software management for that. And there is a java.net package we are using that support two protocols, TCP and UDP. How it works we will see it in forward. So TCP is transmission control protocols. It provides the reliable communications between the sender and receivers. TCP is used along the internet protocol TCP/IP. You studied this about in networking also. And user data protocols that provide the connectionless protocol service by allowing the packet of data to be transferred along two or more nodes for that we are using. So various terms are there in order to understand this networkings that you already studied. So here basically the important is we are using here client server applications, web applications, and distributed. Java networking classes has sockets, server sockets, and int address. So here that is it represent the client side socket, and server sockets is represent server side socket, and that init address is the IP address. These are three important parts of class of this Java networking. And if we talk about Java, that is socket programming. It is used for communication between the applications running on different JRE. And Java socket programming can be connection oriented or connectionless. It is of both types. And socket and server sockets classes are used for connection oriented socket programming. And this datagram sockets, datagram packet classes, these are connectionless socket programmings. So we can use in both cases. Socket provide mechanisms for communication between the two processes. Client server establish a connection through socket first, and we write the program like that. So it is sockets. This is try, and new socket local host. We connect this, and code for communication. Then try and catch. This is for the exception handlings. Here IO exception is written. Next is socket programming servers. Example is we create this socket server sockets, and its clients for code for communications. It accept, then it start the communications. First exception is exception, and then it start the communications. So first we create the communication means start, and then it when it accept, then it start communicating. Next is URL and URL connection. So URL is represent uniform resource locator, and URL connection is connection to the URL. So these are the two terms that we use in socket programming, that is URL and URL connections. So socket programming, I think that's clear how to make it connected. With the help of example we have seen. Next is example. So here first we create the URL like this. This is the URL and your connection. First we establish the connection, then read the file with the help of buffer reader. And if we have to write it, first we are reading it. If you want to write, so we can use the buffer writer also, and then process the data for URL and then IO exception. So like that, we first create the connection. We have the URL, first we connect that with the help of URL, then create the connections, and then do the read and write operations. So this is the example of that. Next is exception handling. Same here also, we are using the IO exceptions. So a networking operation can throw the exceptions. For proper error handlings is a crucial for the robust applications. So here we try, write the code, then catch IO exception and e.print trace is take trace like that. So this is also same that we are using here for the exception. So earlier I have used in example. So here try, then catch IO exception. So similarly, we handle the exception in networking. Best practices that we have to follow for networking is use the separate thread for networking tasks. So in the multi-threading, we have to use the separate task for the networking only. Handle the exception gracefully with the help of try catch. Close resource properly, because if we don't close, so there is a chances of memory leak. So we have to close the resource properly. So these are the best practice for networking. Now the example code for networking is like that. We can create the connection with the help of thread also. So we have created separate thread for networking, and then we write and initiate that by dot start method of thread. Next is benefit of networking in Java. So it is interconnected applications. We can do the server client applications, web applications, data exchange over the internet, distributed computing capabilities. So these are all the main benefit of using this, uh, that is networking in Java. So we have covered all the important point that is related to this networking. What is that Java networking? What is Java networking? How we can handle that? What are the fundamental sockets, protocols, URL connections, best practices, exception handling, everything that just we have covered. And you are now ready to build a powerful networked application in Java. If the journey through the Java networking was enlightening, hit the like button, share it with your coding buddies, and don't forget to subscribe for more Java wisdoms. Thanks for joining me today.